Welcome to day 3 of the webinar. I cannot believe we're already day 3. Let us know if you can see us, you can hear us. I'm Jessica Tor.
Hey guys, I'm Cameron Mattis.
And we are joined with a very special presenter today. Her name is Alana Kaivalya, rather. And today's workshop is going to be on how to use webinars in your business. And there is no one better to present on this topic than Alana. Alana, thank you so much for being here. I'm going to just hand it over to you. Really excited to learn about this.
Yeah, absolutely. And I actually want to start by saying, of course, hello to the Teachable community and give you a little bit of background because I am one of you. So fun fact, I was one of the very few people on the Teachable platform many years ago, but I was not a course creator. I used it just to put my yoga classes online. And I remember speaking to some of the guys at Teachable and they were like, but we do courses. And I said, yeah, I'm not interested in courses. Well, fast forward a couple of years, and I actually was on a summit just like the one that you're hosting this week.
Oh, no way.
And yeah, and because of the summit, I was like, you know what? I think that I actually do want to create courses. And so I jumped onto the Teachable Pro plan. And because of the bonus packages that came with that, I ended up making my first course. And here I am. 2 years later, all of my work is online. I'm killing it with webinars. I'm killing it with courses, and kind of a dream come true. So here I am. It's come full circle, and I'm really honored to be here teaching and presenting on the summit with you guys this week.
We're honored to have you here.
Yeah, thanks.
Everyone in the audience, just think next year, this could be you in the summit giving your panel. So it's very exciting.
Yeah, exactly. So I really want to emphasize the fact that I'm super excited to be here, and that everyone who's listening here on the webinar, I was absolutely in your shoes a couple of years ago. So I know what you're going through. I know what it's like. I know that you have a desire to teach something because, of course, everything is teachable, and that you want to translate whatever you're doing now for an online audience. And I'm going to show you the best way to actually present that to your audience in a way that's not sleazy or salesy or weird, and get your courses selling, which is what we're here for too.
That's awesome. I am so excited for this. I'm gonna let you share your screen and I'll minimize us.
Okay.
And while you're doing that, just so you guys know, one of the reasons why I love what you're doing, Alana, is that you don't have webinars and courses on how to run webinars and courses. Well, you do now, but when you started, you used webinars to help with your yoga business. So like certifying instructors. So for everyone here that it's like, oh, this only works for people that are teaching other people how to do what you're teaching, it's not like that at all. So really looking forward to that.
Right, exactly. My whole business is yoga, actually, and I am not really an online marketing person per se, although of course I've had to learn online marketing tools and techniques in order to create sales in my online courses and in my business. So that's the other thing too. I'm coming to you from the online course creator perspective as someone who has utilized webinars with great success. So I want to introduce myself once again for those of you who are just joining me late, and I would love to see more about exactly where you're coming from and exactly where you're joining us from. So please reach out in the chat and say hello. So hi, I'm Alana. It's really nice to see all of you. And today I'm going to teach you how I went from a struggling yoga teacher to internet thriver with webinars. And I did it without being salesy or weird, which is my favorite. So I'm going to share some of that information with you today. I connected with my audience and developed the know, like, and trust factor to build my list to over 10,000 people and my monthly revenue to multiple 5 figures. So before I move on, Jess, I'm going to ask you real quick. Is it better for me to push play and share the whole thing, or do I disappear? What's best for the audience?
Yeah, I think if you press play, and that way it'll be full screen. And also, I think we have a little quick tech tip
So
too.
a quick tech tip for everyone in the audience. If you're seeing anything be blurry or hard to read or out of focus, very easy tip, just mouse over the video, click the gear icon on the bottom right, and then change the resolution to 720p. So again, if you're having trouble reading anything or you think it's blurry, just mouse over the video, click that gear icon in the bottom right, and change the resolution to 720p HD. But yeah, go ahead and go full screen, Alana.
Okay, awesome. Here we go. So it should be full screen now. Let me know if that's not the case. But awesome, tech tips out of the way. Let's keep moving on, everybody. So I want to just make sure that you are here in the right place. I know that you are, but let's run through a few questions real quick Does this sound like you? And please type in the chat if it does. Are you ready to venture into online courses but have no idea how to actually sell them? I know that was me a couple of years ago, and it can be an overwhelming process, so we're going to dial that in today. Perhaps you have tried some other lead generation techniques, like trying to build your list in certain ways, for example, with cheat sheets or swipe files or video sales letters or nurture sequences, but nothing has really worked. Or maybe you don't even know how to grow your list, and growing your list seems next to impossible. If selling seems scary and you get uncomfortable with being overly
Alana,
salesy,
sorry to cut you off here, but I think
that's
that when you shared, like when you went full screen, it's still in the original Keynote window where we just have those. So maybe just stick to this, sharing this one instead of trying to troubleshoot it.
Perfect.
Okay, no worries. If this is fine with you, it's fine with me. And that way I can see the chat actually, so that's better. So can you see the screen that says, does this sound like you now?
Yes,
looks
perfect.
Great. Okay, perfect. Thanks, guys. Webinars are always a fun experience. So let's keep moving on. So it sounds like some of you guys are identifying with some of the things that I've mentioned. You don't want to be salesy. You don't want to make your, you don't want to do the heavy pitch on your sales. It feels really uncomfortable to you, to your audience. I completely get that. I felt the same way. And you know, one of the things that we do when we translate our teachings into online courses is we want to continue to connect with your audience, build the know, like, and trust factor. And that's a way to do that is with webinars. So we don't have to be super salesy. We have to be informational and educational. So I'm going to show you a way to do that. Making your business profitable is a priority, but you don't have enough hours in the day. You know, one of the reasons why I took my classes from in-person to online was to stop trading time for money. I was never able to take any paid vacation if I wasn't there to work. If I didn't show up, I didn't make any cash. And I had been chasing the passive income dream for many years. So if that sounds like you and you're ready to make the leap, then I'm really glad you're here. All right, moving on to the next one. So who here is ready to kill it with online courses? Say yes if you are. So I know we're going to get lots of yeses in the chat right now because Targan says, yeppers, obviously ready to kill it with online courses. That's really exciting. Landon says yes. Ooh, in Colorado, that's where I'm from. Oh my gosh, there's so many yeses coming through. I can't even read them fast enough. I know that you guys are ready to kill it with online courses.
So excited to learn something.
Yeah, totally. Awesome, I know. So here's the thing that I believed with online courses a couple of years ago when I started throwing all of my energy into building them, that if you build it, they will come. And you probably know this quote from the movie Field of Dreams, but I'm going to tell you right now that this doesn't work for online courses. Unfortunately, but it is the truth. And I want to be honest with you right up front because one of the things that helps you to build rapport and know, like, and trust with your webinars is to being clear and honest right from the get-go. So if you build it, they will come. Unfortunately, that is not the case for online webinars. So here's a more appropriate meme for us. If you build it, they will come or they won't. Hard to say. But let's not let this be you. So I'm going to help you through this to make sure that when you build your online courses, they will actually show up and buy them. So here's the real problem, guys. If you build it, they will come does not work for online courses. You have to build it and market it like crazy, and then they will come. So I'm going to show you how to do this. Marketing for me as a yoga teacher, you can imagine, was scary, right? I come from almost 20 straight years of just teaching yoga classes. Marketing felt like a dirty word. I didn't want to do it. I wasn't sure how to do it. And if that's you, then I'm going to show you kind of the easy and fun way out. So let me tell you a little bit more about me and give you a little bit more context as to who I am and where I'm coming from and how I actually developed this really unique webinar system to help me sell my courses and make actually a great amount of money, more money in 1 month than I used to make in an entire year. So I've written a few books. These are 3 of my books. And again, remember, I do come from a yoga background. I'm sitting in your shoes, you guys. No matter what industry you are in, no matter what kind of online courses you want to create, I understand who you are. I know that you want to translate what you do into the online world. So that was me. I've got courses now based on my books, which actually helps to make more money than my book sales, which is fun. I have been a writer for many years, and I've been featured in all of these different places, which is a great honor, but also a lot of work. Again, trading time for money. And at this point, I now have more than 750 hours of higher education in yoga, all online. I have moved my entire yoga teaching business online. So I have the world's only 500-hour online yoga teaching certification. I have another 250 hours of higher education in yoga in what I call the Modern Mystery School. So it's all online. So this is fully what I do, selling courses like crazy all day long with webinars. So over the last 15 plus years, I've founded my own system of yoga called the Kaivalya Yoga Method. As I mentioned, I have a 500-hour online teacher training in conjunction with my friends over at Yoga Download. I founded the Modern Mystery School, which has another 250 hours of higher education for yoga and spirituality. And actually, I developed the first ever yoga podcast in 2005 with over 2 million listeners to date. So I've actually been exploring how to connect with people on the internet for a long time, but I needed to wait for technology to actually catch up with me. Frankly, I needed to wait for Teachable. So as soon as that came around, it was the answer to all my woes as to how to get my educational systems online. And I did that. I moved all my teaching online in 2015, which I have to tell you guys, it was a radical move. I currently am targeting an industry and a community that is not traditionally online. This is a super important point because I'm going to guess that that actually relates to many of you, that many of you might be teaching in an industry or a community that maybe aren't yet quite online. If that's you, let us know. Are you trying to teach something kind of fringe or something kind of new or bring a system online that doesn't really exist yet? Are you a maverick? Are you moving things forward in your industry or your community? Because if that's you, you're exactly what Teachable is good for, and you're exactly why this webinar system is going to work. So I have actually made more money in the last 3 months than I did in the last 3 years, which is incredibly exciting. And cool things happen when you put your passion into action, you guys. I was recently voted the modern entrepreneur by a CRM, that's a big program, a customer relationship management program called Entreport. They chose out of hundreds of applications of all people, me, to be a modern entrepreneur because I've been doing so well with my business and because of these webinars. But, you know, let's be honest, things didn't go smoothly at first. Trading time for money became impossible for me, and I wanted the opportunity to scale my work and make it accessible for more people. No matter how many yoga classes I taught or how many teacher trainings I did, there were never rooms big enough. I was never able to reach enough people. The pricing of these courses became out of control because it cost so much for people to fly to where I was or spend a week with me, and I didn't want it to be like that. I wanted to neutralize the playing field and make it accessible for people around the world and ultimately reach more of them. Now, creating online courses seemed like hard work, and it's gratifying work, but it turned out that selling them for me was even harder. I really thought that if I just built them, people will show up and love them and buy them, and that wasn't the case. Now, here's the other thing that I realized. Traditional marketing and sales tactics don't work for many audiences. They didn't work for mine. My audience, again, they're not traditionally online. Yoga online is brand new. People aren't really doing that. So when I suddenly came at them with a heavy duty sales pitch and some of the traditional marketing tactics that I was learning from other people, it turned people off. And frankly, it turned me off too. I felt sleazy going in for the pitch, and my audience did too. So all the marketing tips I got fell flat because I wasn't connecting with my audience. And I struggled for a year, lost in the launch cycle. I just kept launching course after course after course because I didn't know how else to make money, which, by the way, is not a tactic. That's not a technique. I don't recommend it. And I kept launching the webinars. The problem I had was that there was no one to tell me how to get dedicated students to follow me online and buy my courses. I had to make this up as I went along. Traditional marketing tactics didn't work, and I felt sleazy luring people in and just going for the sale. So I finally realized that webinars really are the key to making my life and my business work. And once I cracked that code, I began to thrive. Once I started selling my online courses through webinars, I increased my monthly income by 10 times. Now, who here wouldn't like an extra zero? Does everyone want an extra zero at the end of their monthly income? If you do, raise your hand by saying yes in the chat. I'm sure that you do. I know that all the yeses are going to come in again. I get it. I cannot tell you what an incredible thrill this is for me to finally be in this place, and I can't wait to show you how to do it. So why webinars, you guys? Of all of the particular marketing tactics that I could be showing you today, I came on to this summit. Remember, this is where I started a couple of years ago in order to show you the best way to multiply your income and start to thrive as an online course creator. So webinars work in a bunch of different ways. First of all, they add new and qualified leads to your email list. In fact, at this point, I'm adding more than 1,000 plus new leads every month just because of my webinars. These people, they just sign up to take my webinars. They see either a Facebook post or an ad or an email newsletter that I send them, telling them about what I'm going to share with them on a webinar. And just by virtue of sharing the information, they say, yeah, I want that. They sign up for the webinar, boom, they're on your email list. So you're growing your list. There's that problem solved. Webinars also are able to convert, and that's really the end goal that we're here for, right? We put all of our time, our effort, our energy into creating these incredible courses that are going to make an impact in people's lives because we have passion about what we like to teach. And when people see that on a webinar, they want in. So my experience with webinars is that they have up to a 35 to 40% conversion rate. So of the people who actually watch the webinar, about 35 to 40% are going to convert. Now let's do some quick and very simple math. If you have 10 people, even just 10 people on a live webinar, and 3 to 4 of them purchase your $500 course, that's an extra $1,500 to $2,000 you just made in the course of an hour. That's not bad. And that's just with simple math. Of course, that math gets a lot more exciting the more people you can get on your webinar. So that's way more money in your pocket. It's basically more bang for your buck, which we are all excited about. Webinars help you establish authority and offer valuable content to your audience. Your audience loves you and they want more from you. But the thing that I really found that was the key to my success with webinars was that it allowed me to build the know, like, and trust factor right away. So right at the beginning of our webinar today, you saw my face, right? We said hello. I introduced myself. And that's something that I do on every webinar that I host. I show my face, I say hello, I connect with the audience. They get to see who I am, they get to see what I look like, they get to see my smile, and it helps to build the know, like, and trust factor. One of the things, especially if you're working with what we call a non-traditional audience, so an audience that isn't necessarily inherently already online, is they need a little bit of hand-holding to overcome that first leap of like, ooh, you know, I'd like to see this person in person, but I'm interested in trying online learning. What does that look like? What kind of attention will I get? Will I actually get to know this person? Will I get to work with them? So the webinar helps to ease their mind about that. They get to see you. They get to write a question in the chat, just like you're doing, and they get to connect with you. It's one of the best translations of an in-person experience to an online experience out there. So my absolute favorite reason to use webinars, though, you guys, is that they make it easy to go evergreen and escape the launch cycle. So when you get a webinar that converts like crazy for you, and you turn it into what we call an evergreen sales funnel, and you just let it run in the background, it means that you can escape the launch cycle and the stress of trying to launch course after course to make money, and you get to make money all day long. That's pretty cool. If that sounds cool to you, let me know. Do you guys want to go evergreen with your webinars? Yay! I know that was a huge turning point for me. So I want to tell you about a quick webinar success story, and this is my own success story. I launched my first webinar in July of 2016. So if we take a look, that's about, what, just a little under a year and a half ago, right, that I started doing these webinars. I launched my very first webinar in July. I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't have the right, I know I fudged up the entrance and the exit. I didn't do it perfectly. I was super nervous. I'd never used YouTube Live before. It was kind of a disaster if I look back now and get real with it. But I want to tell you that even with what I thought was kind of a disastrous webinar, I was still able to sell 7 courses in less than an hour, which netted me over $10,000. And then I sold another 3 more over the following 24 hours. So that was amazing. And I tell you what, that motivated me like crazy to keep doing webinars and perfect my method. And since perfecting my method, I have 10 times my monthly income. And let me tell you, that extra 0 goes a long way. So currently I have 5 evergreen webinar funnels, and I sell courses daily. Watching my phone light up with a new sale and a new happy customer makes me happy too. And it made my passive income dreams come true. I've been glancing at the chat, and I have to be honest with you, I've seen the name Tim Ferriss come up a couple times. And my thoughts about passive income were born by reading The 4-Hour Workweek in 2005. So I've been chasing this for over a decade, and it wasn't until webinars that I was finally able to make it come true. That's a long dream. All right, so let me get into the anatomy of a successful webinar funnel. So just in case, I know that many of you are new to online courses, online course creation, online marketing. Let me give you a quick 101 on what a funnel is. So a funnel is how you bring people into your fold so that they can see who you are and make decisions as to whether your courses are going to work for them or not. So you invite them into something like a webinar, and a whole lot of people will opt in, which is really exciting. Some of them will actually decide to show up on that webinar, so that funnel narrows a little bit. And then once they watch the webinar, some of them will start to purchase or consider purchasing. And then with your follow-up emails, a few more will purchase, and then that's when they drip out the end of that little small funnel. So we take a broad audience and then we narrow them down to find the people who are going to be our loyal clients, students, people that hang out with us for a long time and also come back to purchase more. Statistics and studies show that people who purchase one thing with you are more likely to purchase more things with you. So if you create a happy customer right off the bat with an awesome webinar, it's more likely that you're going to have more happy customers there in the future too. So successful webinar funnel is this. You have a couple of ways to create an offer in your webinar. And so for example, and I'm going to show you 2 different examples of what a great webinar offer looks like. So one of my webinar funnels that's very successful is for my 500-hour online teacher certification program, yoga teacher training essentially. Now this is a huge program. It's a 500-hour program. Now that's a big program, so it doesn't really make sense to offer another course with that. That might be a little overwhelming. They're already getting so much with a 500-hour program. So on that particular webinar, my offer is that I give them a special discount. I say, all right, if you guys purchase this training within 24 hours, I'll give you $500 off the program. That's the best bonus I can come up with because they're already getting so much in the program. And I create time to urgency, which is really important. If you don't create a time to urgency offer in your webinar, there's no real incentive for people to buy. If you just say on your webinar, hey guys, I have this awesome course and I'd love for you to buy it, that'd be really cool, I really hope that you do, then procrastination sets in and people start to talk themselves out of it. Even if your course is amazing and they know they need it. So by creating a timed offer, by creating urgency, you're moving people's butts. You're kicking them in the butts a little bit to say, hey, the time is now. Like, this is the best offer you're going to get. And so if you set a timed offer, I always recommend 24 hours. My own studies and trials and errors have shown that 24 hours is most successful. If you drag it out any longer than that, people have more time to talk themselves out of it. So 24 hours works for me. And that way people move their butts and they opt in to your course. With this particular webinar, my teacher training webinar, I also do a fast action bonus. So if people are able to register for the course within 60 minutes of watching the webinar, they also get an Amazon gift certificate for the course books that I require for this teacher training. So if they register within 60 minutes, they get the course books, but they have 24 hours to take advantage of that discount. Now, this is one way you can set up your webinar funnel, okay? fast action bonus, a discount off of your course, timed urgency, and this is one successful option. Let me show you another successful option. So another webinar funnel that I employ is for my Alchemy of the Chakras course, where I teach people how to read the chakras and use them in a yoga setting, right? I mentioned I was a yoga teacher. So I have this chakra course, and I do not offer a discount in my webinar. Instead, I offer an additional complimentary free course. So I have another course that is similar. It has a similar kind of vibe. It would be something that people who are interested in the chakras would be interested in. And so I give it to them for free if they opt into the course within 24 hours. Again, that timed urgency is key and something that you absolutely want to set up with your webinar. All right, so before you launch a successful webinar, it's really important to do your research, right? Because you're going to be talking to your audience for, say, 45 minutes to an hour is about a good amount of time for a webinar to ask people to commit. You want to know what your audience's pain points are and solve them. So for example, because I was sitting in your shoes 2 years ago, I know what your pain points are. Oh my God, how do I create an online course and how do I sell it? I have no idea. It seems so overwhelming. I hate being salesy. I get it. I know what that's like. And so that's why I'm here today, to help you overcome those specific pain points. So perhaps you are the person that you'll be talking to in your webinar. Connect to that. Connect back to who you were before you solved your own problem. Identify what those pain points are and then tell them how you're going to solve them. You do, of course, need to promote your webinar so people that know that it's happening. It's not just going to sell itself, essentially. You have to tell people that it's happening. So a couple of ways to do that are to send an email. Even if you have a small email list, inviting people to a webinar is a way for them to hang out with you live and to ask you some questions and to see a little bit more about what you have to offer. People get excited about it. It's kind of an event. So sending an email even to your small list is really helpful. And then, of course, social media promotion is also really helpful. So posting on your personal page, on your business page, inside your Facebook groups. And also, I definitely recommend eventually getting into Facebook ads. Those are really helpful for reaching cold audiences, audiences who don't know you yet. But if that's down the road for you, start with what you have and promote your webinar wherever you have the opportunity to do so. So again, execute, last piece. You've got to make sure your tech is in order. So there will always be fun little problems on a webinar. It just happens. It creates the kind of atmosphere that this is a live experience. Like for example, when you and I first started on this webinar, we had a little tech glitch, right? I was trying to push play and share my full screen. It didn't quite work. That's all right. We're here working it out. It shows that we're real people. We're here live. We're here with you. We're seeing your comments. And that's actually really fun, right? Because part of the magic of a webinar is that we're doing our best in an online space to translate an in-person experience over the internet. And, sometimes glitches happen. People are real. This is a real experience. But even that said, make sure that you do understand how to work your tech, that you do a couple of practice runs so that you can make it go as smoothly as possible. So just for those of you who are wondering, here are my tech recommendations. These are the programs that I use in my very successful webinar funnels, and I love these programs. So first of all, Easy Webinar. If you're looking for a webinar platform that will allow you to do live webinars, perfect your method, develop a killer converting webinar, and then flip the switch to go to evergreen so you can make sales all day long, Easy Webinar is awesome for that. It also works really well with other programs, like if you use things like ConvertKit or Entreport or Infusionsoft or any program like that, Easy Webinar seamlessly integrates, which we all love. Now, to create those timed offers, that urgency that I'm talking about, where you tell people they have 24 hours to buy, I use Deadline Funnel. It is an incredible program that helps people know that they've got a certain amount of time left because there's a big timer that shows up on the page that says you have 3 hours left. That's it. And then after that timer is up, it redirects them to a different page and they can no longer access your offer. So again, at the beginning, I mentioned that it's really important to be honest and transparent as you're doing your webinars to create that really authentic vibe with what you're doing and what you're offering to people so that they know, like you, and also trust you. When an offer expires, it's done, right? They can't get it anymore. You don't go back in 48 hours and say, oh, just kidding. I didn't really mean that. Do you want this thing again still? Deadline Funnel helps you to do that. Plus, trying to manage a timed offer on your own is really tough. There's a lot of moving parts that you have to turn on, turn off, switch over. If you don't want to deal with that, this tech is really helpful. And then, of course, obviously, Teachable. Guys, I am a Teachable evangelist. Teachable is my home, and this is where I spend all day, every day, working with my students, working on my courses, building more information. And Teachable, of course, has thought of all of the things that you need as a course creator and built it in, and it works seamlessly with these programs too. So write these programs down so you can explore them later. And let me talk about what a successful webinar email sequence looks like, right? Because once you decide to do a webinar, you are going to invite people to that webinar through your social media posts, through your email newsletter. You'll send them to your webinar platform where they can register for your webinar. So when they register, the first thing that happens is that they get a welcome email. So that's immediately. They get a welcome email as soon as they register that says, hey, I'm so excited to have you on this webinar. And you give them the date, the place, the time. An automated system like Easy Webinar will actually do that for you. It will place those details in the email for you. And then you can just write things like, we're going to talk about this. I recommend you close all other programs so that your streaming is easy, so we don't have any tech glitches. And then 15 minutes before the webinar airs, you give them another email because people forget, right? If you're doing a live webinar, and let's say it's on Thursday at 8 p.m. and someone registers on Tuesday, by the time Thursday rolls around, they're going to forget. So send them a reminder email 15 minutes before the webinar airs to say, hey, I'm really excited to see you. I'm just getting ready for the webinar. Here's a reminder about what you'll learn, and here's a reminder about the link that you click to access. Really make it super clear for them, especially if you're working with an audience that isn't used to webinars, has never really been on one before, isn't sure what the protocol is. Be very specific. Like, you're gonna have to click here and make sure that you have your sound on and make sure that you use this browser if it requires a certain browser. You really kind of hold their hand through it. And then once you have the webinar and you're finished, the thing that you do directly after, like the first thing right after, send a replay link. Okay, now your replay is going to have the same amount of time available as your offer. So if you say you have a 24 hours to take me up on my offer, then the replay is also 24 hours. Again, creating some urgency to get people to go watch the webinar, because those conversions happen largely when people watch the webinar or watch the replay. So right after the webinar happens, hey, go to check out this webinar. Here's the replay if you missed it or if you want a review. Now, if you're doing a 24-hour timed urgency offer, again, which is what I recommend, 12 hours later at the halfway point, you can answer people's questions, send over some FAQs, tell people some what we call social proof. Here's what people are saying about the course. Here's what people love about it. I'd love to see you. You've only got 12 hours left. And then with 6 hours to go, send an email that offers gratitude. I'm so glad you were on the webinar. Thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. You've got 6 hours to go. And then the final notice is a short and sweet email that says, guys, you've got 3 hours left. Please join me before this offer expires. And then you make sales and you party. So you're gonna make sales likely right on the webinar as people are watching. That's when people are most excited, especially if you use a fast action offer. And then you're gonna continue to make sales over the next 24 hours, and the bulk of your sales are largely gonna happen right before the deadline ends. So 24 hours later, get ready to watch your bank account grow a little bit as your successful webinar works for you. So here are my 3 top tips for executing a successful webinar. Now, this is really what happens to make my techniques different from some of the other people. So if you haven't for some reason been taking notes, definitely start now. So tip 1, remain authentic. Okay, connect with your audience. Now, this is something I've emphasized already with you and I here today. There's ultimate transparency. We're talking exactly about what's happening. I'm sharing with you every bit of information that I possibly can. You start with your smiling face and introduce yourself. You show people who you are. You smile with them. You laugh with them. You watch their comments come through, and you do your best to translate your in-person experience online. That's really going to help usher people from a live in-person experience to your new online experience and help you ultimately reach more people and scale your business up. Tell them exactly what you'll be sharing during your webinar. So don't do a bait and switch. One of the things that used to frustrate me like crazy was when I would see a Facebook ad that said, hey, come to my webinar. I'm going to show you the answer to this major problem that you have. And I would go to the webinar and yeah, okay, they would show me the answer, but then they would immediately identify a much bigger problem that I would have to pay $1 million to get on their course in order to solve. Now, the webinar didn't say that it was about a course. The webinar didn't say that there was going to be any kind of sales pitch, and it feels kind of weird. And I didn't like doing webinars that way either. So I actually tell people, hey, come to my webinar where I'm going to tell you about my course. Come to my webinar where I'm going to show you inside my teacher training program, a revolutionary 500-hour online yoga certification, and I'll tell you exactly what you'll learn and how to make it work for you. Or when I invite people to my webinar, I say, hey, come check out my new course about the chakras, where you'll learn how to work with them, energize them, align them, and balance them. Now, obviously, I know not all of you are talking about yoga, but these are just examples that I actually tell people that this webinar is about an online course and I want to show you more. So here is an actual picture of one of my actual webinars, and you can see I'm using the Easy Webinar platform here. It's beautiful. It's got a great layout. There's a chat box on the side. There's me talking, showing my face to people right at the beginning, telling them a little more about me. I'm sitting right where I am now, just a slightly different background, but that's how I start all my webinars, and I get really honest about who I am, where I'm coming from, what I'm going to show them. Yep, I'm going to take you right inside the course. Here's why I put my work online. Here's why I'm moving my work online. And here's why being online will be awesome for you. Okay, so here's my second tip, you guys. So first one was remain authentic, be who you are, tell them exactly what you're going to show them during the webinar. Tip 2 is to educate them. Okay, so actually take people step by step through your course. Tell them exactly what they will learn. So I literally show people screenshots of what my beautiful teachable course looks like. I show them how the online course system works, how they'll interact with me during the course. I basically take away any objections they have about going online. So for people who are not yet online, they don't know how it works and it feels scary. So I just show them. I show them exactly how it works. I take them through each module. I say in module 1, you will learn this. In module 2, you will learn this. And it is step by step going through that it is exactly what they're going to learn in the course, right? And I also kind of tell them, you know, little things about what they'll learn in the course. So I drop little tidbits of content to make it an enriching experience. So for example, if I'm talking about my course on mythology, then I actually tell them a myth about yoga. Or if I'm talking about my online teacher training course, then I'll actually teach them something from inside the teacher training course. So for whatever industry you're in, it's totally going to work. So I just saw a note come through that, you know, somebody thought that it wouldn't work for personal development. It will totally work for personal development. The comments are coming through so fast, so it's difficult to see them. But I did see that one come through, and I can assure you that whatever you're teaching, first of all, we know it's teachable. It is teachable. And then second of all, with webinars, it's absolutely possible for you to convert that experience online. You can. Just be really clear with them. So if they've never been online, demystify that experience, show images of the course, and tell them how you're going to interact with them throughout. Let them know that as soon as they buy the course, it's not like suddenly a hands-off experience, that they're becoming a part of your community. They're becoming a part of your tribe or a part of your family. So show them how that interaction works. So for example, this is literally a slide, a snapshot from within one of my webinars where I show them an actual slide for my course. And this is obviously a teachable course, duh. So I show them here, look, this is the introduction module. Do you see all the things you learn? See how there's numbers next to some of those titles? That means there's video in those lessons. You're gonna get video of me all through the course. There's ways that you can interact with me. And I make that really clear for them. Here's a snapshot of what a teachable course looks like that has a video in it. And I'm just really clear so that people know exactly what they're getting. So awesome. You guys, tip 3, here we go. Tip 3, you guys ready? Be honest, be super clear about your offer. Like, don't hide from it. Sometimes people get to the pitch part of their webinar, and because it feels so awkward, and I know, I get it. When they get to the pitch part, it feels so awkward. You want to zip through it. You want to go really fast. You don't want to do it at all. And that is, to me, it's worse when you've brought people in under the auspices of like just presenting some content and then kind of switching and being like, oh, but I have something to sell you. If you actually bring people in because you're talking about your online course, they're going to want to know how to get into that online course, right? They're going to want to know how to get into that online course and opt in. Obviously, they're going to have to buy it. So just be clear about that. Be like, hey, you know, I want to invite you today to be a part of my online course. And here's how that works. I have a special offer for you for the next 24 hours. And I actually walk people through the checkout process step by step and tell them exactly what they are going to get when they purchase the course. If you can, if you feel comfortable doing so, incorporate a risk-free guarantee. That helps people to opt in and give it a try, especially if they've never been online before. So whether that's a 14-day risk-free guarantee or a 30-day risk-free guarantee, telling people that up front gives them the confidence that they can opt into your course without any issues. So literally, I actually show them what the checkout page on Teachable looks like. I take a snapshot and I tell people, see, when you click this link to buy, and usually on a webinar platform like Easy Webinar, you'll be able to put an offer button on the side where you can say, all right, click here for the offer, take them to a sales page. You tell them, hey, look, you can pay up front for this amount and save yourself some money, or you can opt in for monthly payments if that's something that you're opting to do with your Teachable course. Click whichever radio button works for you. Here's what the payment looks like. You can pay by credit card or PayPal. Once you're enrolled, then you'll get access to the course. And I literally show them what this looks like, and I talk about it with them straight up. Like, nothing is hidden for me at all. We just go right to it, and I walk them through step by step. So guys, those are the steps. Super clear, be authentic, tell them exactly what you're doing, take them through your course, get excited about it, invite them via social media. So here are your next steps, and here's how to execute your own webinar successfully very, very soon. Number one, practice, practice, practice. Maybe run through your webinar a couple of times with some friends, or even by yourself, or get your dog and do your webinar for your dog if you have one. But practice this technique, go through it, make it smooth, make it easy for you, make it natural. You know, again, you want to be present with your people. You're just bringing your community online. You are still the same warm, authentic, passionate person that you've always been, talking about your favorite topic of expertise. And do your webinar over and over, okay? Don't be afraid to schedule and do your webinar every week. You guys, my highest converting webinar, I did every single week for 6 months, until I got the highest conversion rates I'd ever seen on that webinar. And then I flipped the switch and made it evergreen. And now that webinar runs all the time. And of course, that's easy to do with a program like Easy Webinar. And then I set effortless timed offers on the webinar so that I don't have to manage the back end of it, because this can get overwhelming, and I use Deadline Funnel for that. And I want you all to prepare for passive income awesomeness with your courses on Teachable, so that in the end, build it you must, and come they will. So now we're talking, you guys. Yoda always has the good answers. So stick around, everybody. I'm going to be here to answer all of your questions that you have about this process, about live webinars, evergreen webinars, how to set them up, how to get comfortable with them, how to practice them. I'm here for you, and I'm super excited to share all of this information with you today.
Oh my gosh, this was so good, Alana. Thank you so much, guys.
Alana, thank you so much. That was a really, really great presentation. And one thing that I did want to make sure that people know is that while there are like really, really kind of big webinar platforms out there like Easy Webinar, you can absolutely do webinars on Teachable. And that's what I recommend to someone getting started. Before you invest in another platform, it might be good to start off with just the built-in webinars in Teachable. Now, one thing that you might have noticed is that we have spent a lot of time talking about webinars, talking about techniques, talking about tools, talking about all these different things. Sorry, I just need to share my screen.
I was wondering if
yeah, it's an important step. We spent a lot of time talking about all these different things. And we're going to have a Q&A in just a few minutes to go over everything. But for now, it's time to talk about something really important. The kind of key ingredient in all of this, it's time to talk about you. Because at the end of the day, none of this would be possible without you and your actions. So first, I want you to take a minute, just breathe, relax, and remember that you can do this. I know that there's so many terms being thrown around. I know that there's so much stuff that you're getting used to and you're learning about right now, but I want to reiterate that you can do this. Even though some of you might feel a bit like this right now because we've gone over so much. So in the chat, let me know, do you feel a little bit like this? If so, that is totally fine. And again, just let me know in the chat if you feel overwhelmed. Now, that was actually something, Alana, I'm sure that you've experienced, and we're seeing this happen a lot. You know, people, they come to a summit, they come to Teachable, and they're not sure exactly where to start. They have a lot of information, but they're not sure where to begin. And that's a problem that we set out to solve. So at this point, how many of the people in the chat would love for me to give you what I would call a blueprint, just to get rid of that overwhelm, to get rid of that, you know, should I do this or this or this, that indecision, and just give you our exact easy to follow process for launching your own online courses?
That's exactly what I did, Cameron.
That is, a spoiler alert, exactly what Alana did. Now, Alana, I'm sure you've noticed this, but there are really kind of two things you need to build a great online course. The first thing is the tech. You need like an actual way to build an amazing online school. And Teachable has that covered. We've spent millions of dollars and hired lots of very smart engineers and product designers and all those people to make a really good platform. So that part is taken care of. You don't have to worry about it. But the second part is the difficult thing. You actually need a proven plan to follow from people who have done this before. Now, I know that you know this, that you can do stuff by trial and error. You can try to figure stuff out just by guessing. But at the end of the day, just having a concrete plan that's been proven before can save you months or even years of time that you would have wasted trying to figure stuff out alone. And that is where this bundle comes in. So if you want to figure out a course topic that will take your ideas and refine them into something beautiful that people will buy, if you want to take your ideas and become more well-known in your space, increase your credibility, just like Alana has done, if you want to grow your income in a more scalable way, something not dependent on your time and your energy, but something that can grow alongside your business, and if you want to do this while helping a lot of people, like providing more value for people than otherwise they would get. And if you want to build a community around yourself, people who trust you and acknowledge you and admire you. And if you want to do all of this, get started with this, build your first mini course, really jump into this in the next 30 days, then we've created a Teachable bundle specifically for you. And we know that this works because look at people like Alana. Now, this is what we call our Black Friday offer. And I know, it's not Black Friday yet, but we're all going to be off celebrating Thanksgiving. And we want to make sure that you are able to get this before then. So our Black Friday offer is very simple. I'm going to tell you up front. The vast majority of people with this, they'll go for our professional plan. So our professional annual plan, normally it's $99 a month, but our annual plan is $999 for an entire year. So that means that you save $200 by committing to a year-long plan. Now, our professional plan is by far our most popular plan because it is pretty much all of the features of our top-end plan. The one that's $3,000 per year is pretty much all of its features, but at 1/3 the price. So that means unlimited courses and students, so you can scale as much as you want, 100% customizable look and feel, learner progress tracking and advanced reporting and analytics, so you can see exactly what your students are doing. This includes like being able to see second by second how much of each video people are watching. It's incredible. There's, of course, full e-commerce to accept payments, drip content, white labeling. And the main thing is on the Pro plan, all you do is link your own Stripe and PayPal account, and you will pay no transaction fees to PayPal or Stripe. Sorry, you'll pay no transaction fees to Teachable, and you'll get paid out instantly. Simple as that. Now, once you have the #1 platform to deliver your online course, which again, Teachable handles, and that's all covered in the professional plan, you need that second part, that hard part, that step-by-step plan to help you create and launch your course. And to do that, we have partnered with some of the best minds in the industry. So we've worked with them. We've set this up so that you are going to get 9 courses worth almost, or actually over $4,000 from our most successful instructors, including the full version, like so much more information than what we could talk about in this webinar today, selling out your courses with webinars. So Alana, you were able to go into a lot of detail during this webinar, but what are like some things, how much more detail do you go into in this full course?
Oh my gosh, I actually break down literally every single part of what a 45-minute to an hour webinar looks like, what you spend the first 15 minutes doing, what you spend the second 15 minutes doing, and go through some slides of my own that I use to give you examples of how you can translate your stuff online, and how to successfully do the sales pitch, which I know can be overwhelming to people. So I just break it down super simple, give you step-by-step everything on how to do a successful webinar.
Yeah, and it's an incredible course, which is why Alana normally sells this for about $200. But we twisted her arm. We could twist it really far because she's great at yoga. And she agreed to provide this today for everyone who joins us. Now, not only do we have Alana's course, we also have an amazing course by Regina Inejanu.
She's great.
Edition of creating your course in a weekend. So this means that in just a few days, you're going to be able to get from ground zero to really having the structure of your course complete. She takes a lot of these complex topics and makes them so simple. This, again, she normally sells for $200. She donated this to us to provide to our audience when they sign up. And next, I'm going to be saying next a lot because there's a lot here. Ryan Dice, you might have heard Alana talk about a funnel. And a funnel, again, is basically getting like a large group of uninterested people and taking them through step by step until they're interested in your topic. They're convinced that your topic is fantastic. They're convinced that you're the one to teach it, and they're ready to buy. So this is the full funnels blueprint mini course, which you normally sells for $300. We're including this free. Denise Duffield-Thomas, if you saw her workshop on day 1, it was incredible. It really went into a lot of detail about pricing your course. So if you know of Denise, you know about her course pricing workshop, you might know that she normally sells this course for $200. Again, we're including this for free. So on the webinar yesterday, we had Brian Harris. Now, Brian, he's an expert at a lot of things. And one of the biggest things he's an expert in is growing your email list. So getting from 0 to 10,000 subscribers, he has a whole course about this, which he sells for $500. We're including that for free. And then just a few more. Melissa Farr has a course all about ultimate mindset mastery, which means actually taking yourself to the next mental level in order to sell your courses, in order to create a thriving business for yourself and your dreams. And just 2 more. Caleb Wojcik, he's a world-renowned videographer. He actually works for Pat Flynn, and we've hired him to do some projects for us. But if you don't have the thousands of dollars it takes to hire him or buy his professional equipment, you can instead sign up with us and get his course for free on DIY video, where he walks you through using your own equipment, just like your cell phone, your webcam, etc., to get great-looking video in your own home. And last but not least, Randall Browning, our own head of content at Teachable, we worked with her to create a masterclass on setting up upsells. So Alana, I'm sure you're familiar with upsells. This is the idea that once someone buys your $200 course, you have an upsell to them, whether it's to buy the advanced version of your course for $300 or to sign up for your $50 a month monthly coaching program. This is targeting people who have just bought. We have upsells built in to Teachable, and Randall makes it easy to understand how you should best use them. This is, again, something that we sell and have on offer for $400. We're including this for free. Now, a lot of you in the chat were asking about the live replays from this summit. You're going to get all of the live replays, which we're going to be selling for $200 later, but you'll get access to all of them forever for free when you join us today on the professional plan. And then last but not least, on the professional plan only, you're also going to get our 2 most valuable bonuses of all, because these are the ones that require our direct time. The first are 8 weeks of our live group coaching calls. If that person looks familiar, that's because it's me. I normally lead these. Yeah. And this is one of my favorite parts of this job. Every week I hop on with normally between 5 and 20 different instructors. It turns into a real masterclass style format, talking about our successes, discussing what we could have done better over the past week, giving each other advice and feedback on everything from tools to marketing to personal development. It's an incredible resource. And again, we used to sell this, and now we're including 8 weeks of access to this for free when you join us on Pro. And finally, if the tech stuff kind of scares you, if you're not sure how to set up your Teachable School, if you really want someone to hold your hand, that's where our concierge onboarding comes in. So again, this is normally something that we sell for $300, or we give this away to people on our high volume plan, the plan that's $300 a month. But again, as part of this Black Friday offer, you'll get 2 hours of this for free when you join us on our annual Pro plan for $9.99. Now, this sounds like a lot, and it is, but you go through all of these courses and bonuses at your own pace. So they will easily fit into your schedule, even if you are very busy looking at your feet on a beach. I love stock photos. Now, listen, here's all that we need from you. Just watch the videos, consume the content, do the action items that us and our guest course hosts are asking you, and just take action and get results. And we know that this will work because at the end of the day, you're getting the exact software, the exact tools, and the exact methods that thousands of Teachables instructors have used to grow their online course businesses. So just to summarize everything you're getting today, when you sign up for our annual professional plan, which is $9.99, and you pay upfront for a year and you save 2 months, okay? You not only do you get a year of Pro, but you'll get DIY video production by Caleb Wojcik, advanced pricing by Denise Duffield Thomas, 0 to 10K subscribers by Brian Harris, mindset mastering by Melissa Farr, creating your course in a weekend by Regina Anejanu, the customer value journey by Ryan Dice, creating profit boosting upsells by Randall Browning, Summit Live event replays, which from the Summit. Oh, and by the way, you're getting Alana's full course.
Yay!
Which normally sells for $200. You're getting that for free when you join us today on Pro Annual. Plus, you get the live content. That means 2 hours of concierge onboarding and 8 weeks of live group Q&A coaching. This is as much value as we could possibly pack into here. We were like emailing around, trying to get as much as we could to the people who join us today. And we think we put together a pretty compelling deal.
Yeah, this is a killer bundle.
Now, one thing to be clear is that you get this all when you upgrade to our annual Pro plan, which is $9.99 a year. And if you're a current monthly Pro person, you just have to switch to annual, okay? And that's not a problem at all. But now one thing to be clear of is that you can also switch to our annual basic plan, and you'll still get most of the bonuses, but you will not get the ones that require our time and attention, which means you won't get the coaching calls and you will not get the concierge onboarding. So like I said, we have most of the features you'll need on basic. It doesn't have a lot of the stuff on Pro, but there's still some good stuff there. You'll still have courses and students. You'll still have the custom domain and third-party integrations. But on the basic plan, we process the payments for you on your behalf. We take a 5% transaction fee plus about a 3% credit card fee, and then we pay you out every 30 days. So that means when you sell like a $100 course, on Pro, you keep about $97. On Basic, you only keep about $92. That's a big difference once you're doing some real revenue. So most people, again, go with Pro, but I want to make sure that you know that you can do Basic as well. Now, if you're looking at this and it makes sense to you, again, if this makes sense to you, we're not trying to convince anyone who's like unsure or doesn't want to do this or thinks that this isn't for them. We only want customers who think that this is the right step for them. And I think that this is the right thing for a lot of people. So all you have to do is select your plan above, upgrade, or switch from a monthly to an annual plan, and you're going to get everything automatically. Now, this is great. Everything so far seems really good. Okay. And I'm going to say this twice. This is once. I'm going to say this once more. It still gets better. And the reason why is, like, even if you're on like the fence right now, if you think that this might be a good idea, but you're a little unsure, you think that $9.99 is a lot to invest, and you're just not sure. Like, what if you need that $9.99 later? Well, here's the thing. We have 100% money back guarantee. This is as good as it gets in the world of, selling anything. So you have 30 days to go through everything, set up your school, go through all the bonuses, download your courses, start talking to your students, start building your list, get really excited. And if by the end of that time you decide that Teachable isn't perfect for you, just reach out to us and we will give you a full refund. No questions asked. This is not like calling AOL or Comcast and being like, I want to cancel, and then they put you on hold with someone else for an hour and then transfer you to like the retentions department, which threatens to kill you and your family unless you stay on with them. Like, oh man, that is terrible. We just give you your money back because, again, we want happy customers. We don't want customers who don't want to be with us. This means this is 100% risk-free because even if you go through this, use everything we have to offer, use the bonuses, get the learnings from them, and you decide that it's not right for you, you get your money back. And now the second thing, I remember I said I was going to say this twice, it still gets better. Because while this offer is valid, like for the duration of the summit, just like Alana was talking about, there is a bonus for acting quickly, okay? Now, what that means is that if you upgrade during the webinar itself, we're going to give you a special bonus course, a workshop by Kate McKibben. She's a famous blogger and course teacher about advanced email automation. Okay, this is something, again, she normally sells for $200. She agreed to give this away to our audience free, but only for a limited time. That means only people who join us during the webinars. Now, I do have some bad news for you. If you didn't upgrade on yesterday's webinar or the webinar from Monday, you're not going to get those fast action bonuses. But the good news is when you upgrade today, you're going to get this fast action bonus plus the fast action bonus from all the rest of the webinars in this summit, okay? Now, if you upgrade tomorrow, you won't get this one, you won't get Tuesdays, and you won't get Mondays. So it's in your interest to upgrade as early as possible because you will get all the fast action bonuses. And yes, the money back guarantee will still be the same. And in case you're wondering, that bonus, that comes with both the professional and basic plans. Now, again, just summarizing everything you're getting today. When you sign up for our annual pro plan, which is $9.99, you get DIY video production with Caleb Wojcik, advanced pricing by Denise Duffield-Thomas, from 0 to 10K subscribers by Brian Harris, selling out your courses with webinars by yours truly, Alana Kevalia, Mindset Mastery by Melissa Farr, Creating a Course in a Weekend by Regina Nejanu, The Customer Value Journey by Ryan Dice, Creating Profit Boosting Upsells by Randall Browning, all the replays from this live summit, concierge onboarding, group Q&A coaching, and as a fast action bonus, advanced email automation by Kate McKibben. I wasn't kidding when I said that we emptied out our address books to find all of the best deals and offers that we could for our students and our members, and we have created what we thought is a really compelling offer. Now, in case Alana's story isn't enough for you, we also have some more testimonials here. So Fiona says, after 2 weeks of relentless periscoping, a free workshop, tweeting, and marketing, I'm closing registration to my first course on Teachable with 40 paid students at about $100 a student. And this was one of my favorite ones. This guy is named Alan Perlman. He attended one of our webinars, and then a few weeks later, he made this post in our group. I'm speechless. Did a soft launch of a course I've been working on to my email list on Thursday. Less than 72 hours later and already at $6,000 in sales. I was struggling to get my course off the ground for a while, but I discovered Teachable's platform just last month, and it was the push I needed. Now, my favorite part of this story, Alan has since gone on to have multiple six-figure launches, and he has quit his day job. This is the type of thing that we love seeing. So again, we're going to have a live Q&A in a second, but here's what to do next. Just type into the chat and let us know that you've upgraded. That way we can welcome you personally and expedite your bonuses, okay? They should go to you automatically, but post in the chat. That way we can make sure to expedite them. All you have to do is just select your plan above to buy the bundle now. And just a few questions. If you're already on a Teachable annual plan, just select your desired plan above and it will extend your annual plan. You'll still be able to get the bonuses. And if you want to upgrade a pre-existing school, that's no problem. Let's say you're already on a monthly plan, or if you're on our free plan, here's all you need to do. When you click your plan above, you're going to be brought to a screen that looks like this. Instead of trying to create a new account, just click log in at the bottom, and you'll be brought straight to your school where you'll be able to make the switch. Now, after you upgrade, again, you're going to get an email from us with all the information on how to access the bonuses. And you'll just have to follow the links that we send you and log in at the Teachable Training Academy, and you will have access automatically. Now, you might be asking, like, why are we able to give this away? Why are we able to give away so much stuff and like not even charge you a restocking fee if you get a refund? Well, the answer is that we're a software company. So what I mean by that is back in the day, back when Alana first signed up, we used to make a lot of money selling like our courses, selling our partner training, selling our concierge onboarding and group coaching calls. And Alana, you probably remember those days, like seeing us selling the profitable teacher and stuff like that.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. But what we found,
I've been here for a long time.
But what we found later on was that once we dug into the data, we found out that people who took these trainings were way more successful. And when we did the math, we realized that if we gave away these trainings for free to people who joined us on paid plans, we would make more money in the long run because it makes you guys more successful, which means that you're more likely to refer your friends, your family, your business partners, more likely to think better of us, more likely to use us, more likely to keep paying us. We're a business. We're here to make money. And we found that the best way to make money is to make sure that you guys are successful. So we threw open the gates. We let in everyone on our paid plans who signed up for a paid plan to get these bonuses instead of hiding them behind a paywall. And we found that has been the right decision for us. And one thing I want to make clear, if you need help, we are here to help. Now, this is not a stock photo. This is our actual customer care team. Well, about half of them. Our team's about twice as big right now. We really care about customer care. In fact, everyone who upgrades to Annual Pro, you're going to see an option to do live chat support. That's been something that we've been rolling out. People have been very excited about it. We've got great email support, but live chat has been requested for a while, and we are rolling that out right now to people on Annual Pro. So look out for that if you upgrade to Annual Pro. Now, with Teachable, with this bonus, I think everyone can agree that you will have everything you need to create your own online courses and your successful online course business. Now, our live Q&A is starting now. I know it says 15 minutes. It'll probably go a bit longer than that. So ask us all your questions. We want to make sure that you are getting started with confidence. So I'm just going to stop sharing my screen here and exit my keynote. And hey, everyone, ask us all your questions here. We really want to make sure that you get your questions answered.
And can we also just have a big thank you to Alana again, because like looking through the chat, there's so many takeaways that people were getting. This was such a great presentation. So thank you.
Oh my gosh, it's my pleasure. Absolutely.
Thank you so much again.
Yeah, of course.
Joanne, we're always looking to expand our support options, but we're a very small team right now. So live chat makes sense because people can manage multiple chats at once. But Joanne, I definitely hear you. We're always looking to expand our support options.
And also with live chat, it's easier and quicker because you can paste links to your school. You don't have to like say it over the phone, like www. It just makes things quicker too for getting an answer.
Okay. So a good question here from Lauren, I believe. So Lauren was asking, how do we get the bonuses? We're currently on basic. Do we have to upgrade to pro in order to get them? So Lauren, you just have to switch to an annual plan. So if you're on basic monthly, you can switch to basic annual or pro annual. It just has to be an annual plan. Amanda says, can you do a webinar via Teachable if you were on the free plan? So Amanda, yes, you can. You'll just be missing a lot of the features that come with the basic and pro plans. Like you won't even be able to use your own domain. Okay, so Tamer says, can we have a Teachable courses written in Arabic as right left language? Yes, you can. You'll be able to do that, no problem.
Cool.
Elena says, is live chat 24 hours or is it only during business hours? So Elena, right now it's during business hours, which I believe is like 9:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern time. But we've actually just set up a remote office and we're going to start doing later hours as well. Look out for that soon. We're proud to be constantly expanding our support. One thing that is really exciting is that our average response time to tickets in the past 6 months has gone from a few hours to less than an hour. We've I think cut it by 3/4 or something like that. Our customer care has gotten really, really good. Steve has just signed up. Awesome, Steve.
Ooh, virtual high five.
Real high five.
Steve, I hope you're doing this to the screen as well. Otherwise, just.
Okay, so Steve just signed up. Awesome.
Welcome.
Rachel, important question. When I'm creating a course, am I able to include PDF patterns that my students can download? So Rachel, yes, absolutely. You can include downloads and resources for your schools easily.
And also, guys, if you have any webinar questions that you went through in this workshop, I know there was a few that you were pasting earlier on. We have the amazing Alana here, so feel free to ask those as well if we missed it.
Mm-hmm. So hello everyone, I upgrade to Pro, but monthly do I get all the bonuses? So it has to be an annual plan, okay? So one thing that I do want to make it clear is that it has to be an annual plan. So later on, I can show you exactly where you can change it, but it does have to be an annual plan in order to be eligible for those bonuses. All right, so back to the chat. Theo says, is it possible to have a trial run of your software? So Theo, I would just want to be upfront. The answer is no. And the reason is that we offer this unconditional money back guarantee. If we had it like a trial run, then we couldn't do that. After you have your trial, then you'd have to be paying and there are no refunds. That's how it typically works. Like that's what LinkedIn always does is you sign up for, Sales Navigator and they charge you $1 billion and you can't get a refund. That's not how we work. We ask for the money up front and we're honest about it. And then we offer an unconditional money back guarantee. So Carmen, please talk more about the webinar feature inside Teachable. So Carmen, what it means is like the video you're watching right now, this is a YouTube live video. You can take this video and put it directly into a Teachable course. So it can be part of an existing course, or you can create a course that is just a webinar. And for chat, you can use chat widgets. You can use our built-in comments. You can drive people to the YouTube chat. It's really up to you. Now, we are looking into ways to expand this even more. Like we're actually using our own homemade webinar app right now. And there is some discussion about making that available to you. So good question for you, Alana.
Yep.
Do you want to take this, Jess?
Yeah, well, this is for Alana, but so Alina from NYC says, I'm confused. How do you do evergreen and keep true to timed offers? So if you do a webinar again next week or next month, couldn't someone take advantage of that then?
Yeah, actually, the answer to that is Deadline Funnel. It's this program that I use that creates individualized timed offers for every person who comes to a webinar. And then once their specific timed offer is over, they no longer have access to it, even if they re-attend a webinar at a future date.
And actually, a follow-up question to that, because someone else had asked this. They were worried about, they didn't want to be dishonest and say, like, this is a limited time offer, like, I'm never doing this again. And then, a week later, someone else gets it. Are you transparent? And do you say, like, this is a limited time offer, but you don't say that you're not doing it again? Or how does that work?
I basically say, this is a limited time offer for you. This is your limited time offer. So I'm offering you specifically for the next 24 hours this offer. And that's true. That person who's watching that webinar at that moment is going to have 24 hours to take me up on that offer. And then that's it.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. Honesty is always the best policy.
Absolutely.
Okay. Sorry, going through the questions.
Someone says we would have a YouTube channel to do a YouTube live video. Yes, you would need a YouTube live video. D from Hampton Beach is saying that our video is out of sync with our audio. D, we're actually just expert ventriloquists, so there's no need to be worried. Totally not. No, I'm just kidding. That's probably just something to do with your computer's internet connection. If you refresh the page, it should sync up again. So someone was asking about one of our lower priced accounts. You get paid out every 30 days on everything that is not our pro account. So everything below the pro account, you get paid out every 30 days. So Cindy says, can I get personal services later if I upgrade to basic gold now, but later decide to upgrade to pro? So Cindy, the answer is no. It goes the other way. So like you can take advantage of the pro bonuses now if you upgrade to pro and then downgrade later to basic. That's something that you can absolutely do, but you can't go the other way. If we could do it the other way, then that just wouldn't work out.
Good question from Jennifer, and I'm assuming that you do this, Alana, but for the limited time range in the evergreen offer, so it's like 24 hours until they get it, is it per IP or is it per email? She's asking, what if they do a different email address and then they can just get it again? Yeah,
I mean, look, if people are going to be like that sneaky that they really want the offer and they're really going to do everything they can to get it again, good for them. However, the program does track both their email address and their IP address and matches both of them to make sure that it is an individualized offer. I definitely do my best, like I said in the beginning, to be as authentic and transparent and honest about everything that I do. And the technology, if there's a workaround, I don't know what it is, but it's not impossible that somebody might find it.
Nice.
So here's a good question. Marcella asks, how is this different from Zoom? Well, Zoom's great. Zoom is really good, I would say, for like small group coaching. Like maybe if you have like 5 or 10 or 15 people. But if you're doing a webinar and you expect, maybe 50 or even more people, Zoom service gets really expensive. YouTube Live is free. And I believe that every webinar uses YouTube Live. And that's actually what we recommend doing within Teachable. So again, one thing I want to make clear is that you can do webinars inside Teachable. In fact, I'm going to show you actually right now how I am going to do a webinar inside Teachable. I'm just going to take 2 minutes and I'm going to show you this right now. And you know what webinar I'm going to use? I'm going to use the webinar that we're on right now. I just think that that makes a lot of sense. So I'm just going to share my screen with you. Give me 1 second. So here I am. I have my webinar here on YouTube Live, and this video is already going. And so what all I need to do, I just click this share button. I click the embed button, and that gives me a little bit of what we call this embed code. So this means it'll take this live video, and I'll be able to embed that somewhere else. So I'm just going to copy that. And I'm going to go into my Teachable site. And I'm going to put this webinar into an existing course. You can absolutely put webinars into like their own courses, but I'm going to put this into an existing course. I'm just going to call this, I don't know, I think I'll call it like special webinar, special webinar. And all I need to do is just drop in that embed code that YouTube gave us. And now all of a sudden, I'm just going to turn on my comments. Now all of a sudden, when I look at my lecture, I have my special webinar going, which is going live. In fact, I'm just going to turn this on and you're going to see the entire thing happening in there. So I have this webinar going live and I have comments here so people can say, this webinar is great, if I could type today. And then people can even reply to those comments and be like, you know what, nah, this webinar is terrible. Something like that. Just kidding though, this webinar is amazing. So you can do live webinars directly in Teachable just by using YouTube Live. It is that simple. As you saw, it took me about 2 minutes to set up. I just wanted to do a live demo for you so that you knew that, in fact, you can do live webinars within Teachable itself. So Linus actually has a good question about webinars. If you have a guest. So that's the other nice thing about YouTube Live. You can have up to 10 people contributing to the webinar.
Right now.
Yep, 10 attendees. So we could have us, we could have Alana, and we could have 8 other people all yammering away. Though at a certain point, having a ton of people, it starts to detract from the quality a little bit. So actually, Alana, have you done like joint ventures or webinars with other people? What have been some of your experiences there?
Yeah, of course. It's always fun to have somebody else to play off of and to speak to and to bounce off of, just like you and I get to have a conversation today, and it enriches the experience. It's also a great way to introduce yourself to a different audience. So like, for example, my yoga audience knows me, but now today I get to introduce myself to the Teachable audience. Hi, Teachable audience. So that's really cool and fun. So when you have things in common and you have things in common that your audiences might share, joint venture webinars are a great opportunity to share that.
That's awesome.
All right, so more questions on the chat. So Kava says, what kind of camera setup for YouTube Live? So Kava, just to speak to us professionally here at Teachable, I think we've spent about a total of like $300 on our entire AV setup. Now, as someone who was a photographer in a past life, I went to art school and all these fancy cameras, that's so cheap. And you can get even cheaper than that. Mm-hmm. So we have a webcam. It's like a Logitech C920. I can type that in, Logitech C920, which I think was about like $80. We have this Blue Yeti mic, which was, again, I think about $80 or $90. And we have it mounted on this stand, which makes me feel like Frank Sinatra whenever I'm holding it like this. And the stand was like another $80 or $90. And then we have this fancy light over here, which actually makes us look like we have this nice, glow going on. And that light was, again, like $100, $120, something like that.
Yeah, I actually think, it was around that, maybe a little bit more. But
yeah, so the whole setup that we have, and we're pros, was like $300. You can get started with just the webcam and the mic for, I don't know, like $150, something like that. Especially you can find them used pretty easily.
Or you could even use a webcam that's in your computer. If you have a laptop that has it, already covered.
Yeah, we just like, it does this nice wide angle thing, which lets it work easier, especially if you ever do any co-presented webinars, which we do fairly frequently. Okay, so Daphne says, I'm literally holding my breath. but I'm officially upgrading to basic after being a Teachable Summit alum. Daphne, congratulations. Virtual high five, real high five.
Also upgrade just to see us do like.
Yep. So someone who is called excited but not sure how long the course should be, etc., as a Blue Yeti. And yes,
I do
it's called
too.
a Blue Yeti. Samantha says, what type of light? It's a Diva ring light. So if you just go on Amazon,
love those things.
When you just go to Amazon, just make sure to put light at the end. Don't just search for Diva ring. Diva ring light. It's very important. It's very good. I think we have the 18-inch version, something like that.
Carlene from Calgary upgraded. Welcome. Virtual high five.
Virtual high five. 19 inches. Yeah, it might be that one, Jen. I actually didn't buy that one. That just showed up in our office one day mysteriously. I think that Jess might have been behind it.
Yeah.
Suggestion. Okay, so Rachel, when talking about embedding for YouTube, it appears you can only embed a live stream if you have some ad thing. Rachel, I'm unfamiliar with that. I believe that you can have YouTube live even if you don't have ads on your videos. We don't have ads on our videos, but I think you might need to have over like a certain number of views or something. I haven't done this in a while, like set up a new account with YouTube Live, but our account has been going with it for a long time. Oh, and someone asked, I wanted to answer this because this is an important question. Someone asked, what's the discount for signing up today? Just to be clear, there is no discount for signing up today. You can buy an annual plan from Teachable at this price any day of the week. What you get from this is you get an incredible amount of partner bonuses. Like I said, legitimately over $4,000 worth when you sign up for an annual plan as part of this summit. So we're going to be totally transparent. You aren't paying any less money today than you would at any other day. However, if you wanted to buy this entire bundle any other day, it would be over $4,000. That's where the savings comes in. That's where the savings come in.
And remember, that's exactly what I did. I was on a super basic monthly plan, and because of a summit just like this, I signed up for a yearly, and that's how I launched my first course. And here I am with you guys. So it totally works out. You'll get the information that you need to actually launch your course, create it, be successful, figure out how to market it. It's the support that is so invaluable.
Yeah, it was interesting. I didn't even realize that when we were talking today, and you're like, yeah, I was on the summit and that's how I like got started.
Yeah.
I was like, really?
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I was just doing my classes on Teachable and had been with Teachable for years and didn't even realize courses were a thing. And it was the summit that pushed me into passive income awesomeness. So
SJJ, important. This is really nice to hear. I've already completed one of the bonus courses from upgrading during the summit, and it was awesome. So
amazing.
This works.
Gosh, actually.
So Carmel wants to know, how much is the course that you typically sell?
Oh, well, I have courses all over the map, to be honest with you. So I do have a few free mini courses, which are awesome for helping people get to know what my teaching style is like, what the Teachable platform is like. Free mini courses are a great lead generation tool. The cheapest course I actually do sell, which is a small course, is $7. And the most expensive course that I sell is almost $2,000, $1,995. And then I have basically everything in between. So I like to be able to serve people on a lot of different levels. And again, remember, if people are able to open their pocketbooks up with you at least once, they are 80% more likely to spend money with you again. So even if they opt into a $7 course, that person is more likely to buy my bigger courses, and I'm into that. Plus, I like making my work accessible, so that's why I have lots of options.
Mm-hmm.
That makes a lot of sense. Mitch has an important question. When you do payouts through Teachable, can you get paid out to Teachable? Yes. And one of the cool things about Teachable is that we do these payouts monthly automatically. And we can also pay out automatically your affiliates and authors. So that means if you have other people contributing to your school, if you have affiliates driving traffic to your school and you want to make sure that they're paid, we can pay them. We send them a payment every month, and we even send them their tax paperwork at the end of the year. This is an enormous time savings. Let's say you have 20 affiliates who have driven some money to your site. You would have to sit down at the end of the year and send them all tax paperwork, then figure out how to do that all to the IRS. We include that as a service for free when the transaction goes over our gateways and we do the payouts.
Ashley was asking from Clayton, Oklahoma, or Ashley Clayton, sorry. If I'm starting out, what should I tackle first? Email list building, course creation, the webinars. She's asking about the bonuses you get for upgrading. Ashley, if you don't have an email list or an audience, I would start with that one first, because without an audience and people that are interested in your course topic, you will not be able to sell it. It's just like Alana was saying, if you build it and they will come does not work. So you really want to focus first on growing your audience and then learning the other strategies like webinars, which are very important.
Daphne is upgraded. Congratulations,
Welcome.
Daphne.
Yay!
And virtual high five and real high five. Oh, and an important thing, Joanne, OMG, she said that she just upgraded using the wrong credit card and took her card over the limit, and I'm hosed. Okay, Joanne, just first of all, take a deep breath, relax. It's okay. Okay, center yourself. And now that you're centered, shoot us an email, support@teachable.com. You will be able to refund you that payment before the payment has cleared, and then you'll be able to upgrade again using your correct credit card. So drop an email to support@teachable.com in order to explain the situation, and we'll make sure that you get refunded and that we're able to upgrade you using the correct card. Okay, everything is going to be fine. It's still just a pending transaction. It's totally okay. Okay, so Sandy, what level do it need to be if I want the affiliate availability? You have to be on basic and up, though just note that, again, we take that 5% fee on basic. On pro, it's much smaller. Anushka, do you also offer this tax service for non-US based course instructors? Yes, we do. We send a tax form called a W-8BEN, which is for people who are outside the United States. Johnny, you're looking for the differences between us and a competitor. Johnny, I'll respond to you because I'd love to chat with you a little bit more about this and and discuss what we can do for you. So I'm just gonna shoot you a message, Johnny.
So Jen Thomas was saying, is YouTube Live the one you should use with Teachable, or can you embed other Facebook? So you can embed anything that offers you an embed code, you can embed it within Teachable. We just use YouTube Live. I think it's just easy to use. And I don't think you can embed live streaming with Vimeo. You can definitely embed a video, but I think it's a pre-recorded saved file.
So Kristen, good question. Will I have the same amount of bonuses when I sign up later or tomorrow? So the answer is no. If you sign up tomorrow, you will not get today's fast action bonus, yesterday's, or the days before. If you sign up today, you will get today's fast action bonus and all of the ones going forward.
Yay.
Haiti asked a question about us versus a competitor. Haiti, drop us a line, support@teachable.com, and we'll be happy to go over more of the more of the differences for you. But just a quick little warning from me here. We found out recently that competitor you mentioned, if you're on their equivalent of the basic plan, where they take a cut of the transactions and you refund a transaction, they still keep the cut. That means if someone if you refund a $200 course to someone, they get to keep that 5% of it, which you have to either charge the customer for that and just say it was a restocking fee for an actual online course, or you just have to eat that 5% as a refund fee. So that was something we found out recently. But for more information and to hear a little bit more, just shoot us an email, support@teachable.com. We've got we can be able to go over more of the differences for you. Okay, Patricia, what are some good tips in forming a good teaching plan? If your plan doesn't work, there's no WOM, or you have no return customers. So Alana, what are some things that you found have worked for you when you've been creating your courses that keeps people returning as customers?
Basically, just keep it really basic. Not to be redundant, but yeah, keep it really basic. Don't give them too much. Don't overwhelm them. Start with the most, take it back to where you were as a beginner and start there. I tend to have the impetus to try and give them as much as possible and overwhelm them with information. And actually that's not the most successful course building technique. So keep it really simple and come up with a stepped plan for teaching them. So 4 steps to success in whatever problem you're overcoming. And I feel like that's a pretty easy way to just structure the way that you build your courses.
That's brilliant. I think from a student's perspective, that makes the most sense. I don't want to spend a million hours learning something if I could do it in 2.
Yeah, and your course is the shortcut to an action, really. So Tyler actually has a good question. You're probably already showed this, but we're going to find the bonuses for signing up today. So for anyone who missed it, I'm quickly just going to share my screen with you and go over to the bonuses for signing up today. So if you'll just bear with me for 1 second. I should have just clicked directly on that slide, but you know what, whatever. I love going through these. Okay, so when you sign up today, oops, went too far. When you sign up today for a professional plan, for an annual plan at $9.99, you get DIY video production by Caleb Logic, advanced pricing by Denise Duffield-Thomas, 0 to 10K subscribers by Brian Harris, Mindset Mastery by Melissa Farr, Creating a Course in a Weekend by Regina Anejanu, The Customer Value Journey by Ryan Dice, Creating Profit Boosting Upsells by Randall Browning, Summit Live Event Replays, and Alana's own Selling Out Your Courses with Webinars. Those are all the partner courses you're getting, over $4,000 worth. And on top of that, you get 2 free hours of concierge onboarding, one-on-one onboarding with someone from the Teachable team, 8 weeks of live group Q&A coaching, and as a fast action for upgrading during the webinar today, you'll also get advanced email automation by Kate McKibben. So it's a really incredible offer, and you're getting this all today when you upgrade to Pro. All right, Pro Annual, I should say. Now I'm just going to stop sharing my screen. And we're back. So more questions, more questions. So Ashley Clayton, do you guys have any good help documentation or best practices when it comes to building a business using the Teachable platform? Yes, so we do have lots and lots of documentation on this. I would actually going to point you to our blog because our blog has an unbelievable amount of resources on building your online course business. I can't, like, normally people pointing to your blog is just like, oh, don't bother me, just go look at the blog. But we have spent so much time making our blog a killer resource for people interested in online courses and building their business using them. It's really, really worth checking out.
This is a really great question from Sona. Is the webinar simply talking about the course, so the course that you're trying to sell at the end, or is there useful content for pain points? What is a draw to sign up for a webinar?
The way that I do it and the way that I've found it most successful for my audience is actually that I don't wait until the end to talk about the course. I talk about the course all the way through the webinar. And as I'm talking about the course and presenting the course throughout the webinar, I do drop helpful content that does solve pain points for people so that they have the confidence that I'm the teacher that they need to get through whatever problem that they have, and that this is the course that will do that for them.
So do you say things like addressing a pain point, and then you're like, I go in more in depth in this?
Yeah, I mean, I don't withhold information, and I'm not, I don't tease it essentially, but I do explain that, like, we do go more into depth in the course. And if you're wondering more about this, I do teach about it. Here's an example of what I teach. Here's an example of what you'll learn. Let me talk to you a little bit about this particular element of what you'll find in this module. Again, just really giving a healthy overview, almost like, if you're going to buy a house, you don't want somebody to just tell you about the house. You want to actually go in and walk through it. You want to go into the bedrooms. You want to look out the windows and see what the view is like. You don't live in the house yet, but you've at least walked through and seen if it's right for you. And that's really the kind of experience that I want to give people when they're watching my webinars.
That's awesome. No, that makes perfect sense.
Okay, so Jeff says, I want people to make Friday's webinar live, how to view the recordings of the webinars that we miss. Jeff, you'll get access automatically. You'll get short-term access if you don't upgrade. You'll get permanent access to the replays if you upgrade. Manny, this is a good question, and I like taking difficult questions. I don't want to hide from this. And it says, how do you avoid students sharing access to the course to other people? Now, Manny, the first thing I'm going to say is that this is something that people ask me a lot. They're very worried about it because it's a little bit of a scary thought, right, Alana? You've spent so much time building your courses, and then you hate the idea of someone getting access to them without actually delivering to you the value that you deserve for creating that course. It's a scary thought, right? But one thing that you should be aware of is that in Teachable, we track the number of logins per student. You can go to the user's overview at any time and see, like, oh, this user has been enrolled for 2 days and they've logged in 20,000 times. Maybe they're sharing their login and I should deactivate them. And you can do that with just a few clicks, okay? So that's what I want to say up front. The second thing I'll say is that even though I get asked this question a lot, I have seen the launch of, I would say, north of 30,000 courses while I've been here at Teachable. I've helped out hundreds, if not thousands, of instructors with their courses. And I've gotten complaints about this actually happening maybe like 6 or 7 times. And in the
big courses.
in the large majority of these, That has been courses that I would say are targeted more at a dubious market, like become an ethical hacker in 30 days, like that kind of stuff. Odds are your audience, they're there to learn from you. They're there to respect you. Their goal is to learn. Their goal isn't, oh, how can I get all of my 20 buddies to come here and take the exact same thing? And the second thing to think of, and I know this is a little bit annoying, is that the people who would be doing that, the people who get like their 20 buddies, even though again, this happens very rarely, their 20 buddies were never going to buy the course in the first place. I know that that kind of sucks. And, you know, they might have a good time going through it, but like if there is someone doing this, the people watching that, like illicitly, they would have never bought it in the first place. You're not actually losing out on any revenue. Just like the people who pirate like the latest Hollywood blockbuster, if you couldn't pirate anything, they wouldn't go to the theater anyway, because who wants to pay $18 to sit in the back row and watch some crappy rehash of an old property? But that's the three things I want to stress. One, you can look at the users and see if there's anyone logging in a lot. Two, you really shouldn't worry about this because it happens basically never. And three, even if this does happen, the people who are doing this, they wouldn't have bought the course anyway.
Layla has a really interesting question. She says, do you do your webinars live, or do you automate and replay one that's recorded? So I think she means, do you do it live and then maybe use live recording, or do you record one privately with no one in chat? Like, how do you do that?
Right. Well, what I recommend to everybody certainly is to start by doing live webinars. And that's going to help you to see how your audience responds, what kind of questions they're asking, if it converts, the flow of it, the pace of it. Like I said, my most successful webinars I did live every week as a dedicated practice for 6 months before I turned them into an evergreen. Now, with the webinar programs that you use, whatever it is that you choose, typically you'll have the recordings of the ones you do live, and you can just reuse them, or you can actually record it in kind of on your own, pretending to talk to an audience. Either way really works, but I don't recommend doing that until you've tested it with a live audience for a while to make sure that your system and your technique and your flow is all set.
Great.
So there's a good Jennifer, if you're having any issues upgrading, like if there are any technical things going wrong, first of all, please try and Google Joanne has a good thing. You didn't choose the state. That might be the thing. Otherwise, make sure you're doing this in Google Chrome. While this should work in every browser, Google Chrome is generally the one that we use to develop. Glenn, what do you know about using OBS Studio? Okay, so OBS Studio, it falls into, I would say, a group of tools that I would say are advanced live streaming tools. So this is for setting up, you know, if you want to do a Facebook stream where you can like share your screen and integrate your like different sound sources and switch in between like your microphone and different webcams and like sharing your screen on platforms that don't normally support it, like Facebook Live. OBS is really full featured. You can do a lot of stuff with it, but I would say it is intense overkill if you're just getting started. In fact, here at Teachable, hey, we do these webinars professionally. We don't use OBS. We just use standard YouTube Live powered by Google Hangouts. You really don't need too much of that unless you have some specific need that it addresses that other platforms don't. Okay, so LA, question about payment plans. For every monthly payment, can we tweak which portions of the curriculum they get access to and have it locked until they complete the payment? So LA, here's what I recommend. If you're concerned about this, you can set up your course as a drip. So let's say your payment plan takes 6 months to do. You can set up the course to drip out over 6 months. They don't get access to everything until that 6 months has passed. But again, this is another question people are really worried about. Like, what if someone starts a payment plan and then never follows up and they get all my content? Again, this is something that happens fairly rarely. Like people's credit cards will lapse and like people will fall off the payment plans, but we revoke their access automatically. And whether it's a payment plan or like a one-time payment, that doesn't change anything. People can always buy your content and like ask for a refund and try to do illicit stuff with it. But the main thing I want to stress is just like, stop worrying about those people. Start worrying about the people you should actually be trying to attract. Stop trying to play defense against people buying your course when you should be trying to get people to buy your course, okay? Steve, where do you go to change your Teachable domain name, i.e. name.teachable.com? Steve, because I have my school up, I'm actually just going to share my screen for 2 minutes and show you how to do that, because I am feeling like doing some tech support live. So in your Teachable school, all you have to do is you go to the site menu, and then you go to the domains menu. And then I already have a domain here, camscourse.teachable.com. You just add a new domain. So like camsnewcourse.teachable.com. You click add domain, and that's it. I've added this domain. Now you can delete your old Teachable domains. You can redirect them. You can do whatever you want. You just have to add it, and then you can delete the old one. Simple as that. All right, now back to the chat. Oh, one important thing here. Everyone here, I'm gonna pretend to be Jess because her computer has this account on it, and I'm logged in as Jess here. Just spam, just go and join our Teachable Facebook group. There are over 19,000 people there. We're getting close to 20,000 actually. Join our private instructor Facebook group. Okay,
it's an awesome resource.
It's great. Over 19,000 people. Oh, and Johnny, we are very interested in doing a conference. We went to the ConvertKit conference last year, and we loved it so much. We're like, we've got to do this. And then we came back and started planning our own, and then we realized, whoa, this is a lot of work. Let's slow down. Let's get this right, and let's postpone a conference so we can do a bit more work on it. So yes, this is definitely something that we're going to do. I don't have a specific timeline, but Johnny, you'll be the first on the invite list. Okay. Well, actually, maybe second after Alana.
Yeah, I want to be first. Come on, Cameron.
I shouldn't be giving out like you're first, you're second. I don't know if I have that authority.
I'm first. Let's just be clear.
Okay. Glenn is heading out. Thanks for joining us again, Glenn. Really appreciate it.
On like every webinar. Appreciate you watching.
Oh, and Stephen, for your Jackson already dropped you a message, but just drop our support team a line, support@teachable.com. We'll get that fixed for you. Okay. Oh, and Alana, I do want to say we really appreciate how active and helpful you're being in the chat, how you're helping, like sticking around, helping with Q&A. You're not just like, okay, my presentation's done. Namaste, everyone. And then you just drop out.
No, I love you guys. You know that this is my favorite, and I'm committed to being here.
Oh, man. And I love your filming room, too.
Yeah, well, this is my living room, and I just got a delivery, so my apologies. It's real. We are live. This is definitely happening.
Yeah, people, knock, knock. It's Teachable. It's here for you.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
Okay, so Yoram in LL so real. Yeah, we can't tell the delivery person to come at a certain time.
It was nothing I could do. It is what it is. Thanks for bearing with me, guys.
No worries. We're happy to. So back in the chat. So Manny, I'm working on a program to teach day trading futures. So Manny, I know that finance is a big thing on Teachable. Day trading in particular and trading in general. I don't remember the actual domain, but if you Google, I think it's Unger Academy. It's one of the, again, I just pretended to be Jess there. I think it's Unger Academy. This guy has won some competition as like one of the world's best traders. He started a school on Teachable, and it's become like a multi-six-figure business. We can see some real success there. There's a lot of competition though. So you really have to have something that like is a hook that makes you stand out, that you have a compelling story to do that. Christian, I will be able to join the Facebook group after I've signed up. So Christian, we trust you. You can join the private instructor Facebook group even before you sign up, okay? So I'll spam in the link just one more time or a few more times. But yeah, join us in our private instructor Facebook group. Over 19,000 people. It's an incredible resource. I love it. Rachel, when I upgraded, I got all the bonus courses except Alana's, which is the one I'm most interested in. Rachel, if you upgraded yesterday, it might take you a little bit of time to get access to that one. If you upgraded today, you'll get it automatically. Again, if you're concerned about anything, drop us a note at support@teachable.com and we'll make sure. All right. Oh yeah, and just to be clear, the Facebook group is free. There's no like entrance fee. Like there's no bouncer at the door of the Facebook group being like, papers, please.
Great question from Yoram. I'm sorry if I said this wrong. In the Evergreen webinars, this is for Alana, is the audience informed it is a recording, and does this have an effect on the response and conversion rate?
That's an awesome question. So in the Evergreen webinars, I neither say that it is recorded and I neither say that it is live. So I just start presenting. Hi, I'm Alana. I'm glad you're here because I am glad that they're there. Today, I am going to talk about X, Y, and Z, and I do. And here is your offer for 24 hours. So
Alana,
I just
something might be covering the microphone on the computer. It's
just a
more
second.
muffled.
Yep. Is that better?
I think it's better.
Okay, let's try that again. So yes, so I basically just start presenting when it's a recorded webinar. And I just say, hi, my name is Alana. I'm really glad you're here today because I am glad that that person's there. And I just start talking about what I'm going to present. So I don't say this is a recorded webinar, and I also don't say that this is live. I just leave that off the table. We're all here to learn something. We're here to talk about something. I give them excellent content. I give them excellent value. I take them through the course. I present them their individual offer. I say this offer is specifically for you for the next 24 hours. And then I basically at the end answer questions that I know many people will have. So I say, here's a question about this piece of the course. Here's a question about this piece of the course. And it's an opportunity for me at the end to get back in front of the camera with them, to answer some questions that I know are probably on their mind. Even on my evergreen webinars, I have an email box next to the video where people can type in questions via email. So I will get their questions and I will actually respond to them via email. So that actually enables them to be in whatever time zone that they're in, because I have students in Australia or all over the world that wouldn't be able to take a webinar with me if it was at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So it makes it easier. I still get to answer their questions. They still get great value, and they still get their own timed offer.
That's brilliant.
So Patricia is dropping another link. Thanks, Patricia. Now I don't have to spam that link so much. But yeah, everyone join us in that Facebook group. It's so much fun.
So a few people are asking again what evergreen means. Alana,
Okay.
do you want to explain to people what evergreen is and then kind of how this ties into, because I think some people may have joined in a little bit late too.
Yeah, no, that's fine. So evergreen is the term that describes things that are happening all the time. So evergreen content has no date, it has no time, it has no expiration date, it's always happening. So it's the difference between saying, hey, I'm launching my course on January 1st, because then that's a date that would expire, whatever content you've written that describes the thing is happening on January 1st. Evergreen is happening all the time. So basically, somebody can jump onto an evergreen webinar at any time. It's relevant for them at any time. It's talking directly to them. It's not saying, hi, welcome, it's Wednesday night, because it might be Thursday morning for them. Just talking about the content without adding any time or date in it and having it run consistently, which helps you escape the launch cycle, which is where I was really stuck. My initial experience building courses with Teachable was building course after course after course, because I was making money in the launch, but then I didn't know how to make money afterward. So an evergreen sales system helps you to continuously make money on your courses all the time, which is what I had always dreamed of. So yay, evergreen.
So Ozzy has a good question. Ozzy, if you're working with a business partner to go through with it, if you upgrade to annual, I'm pretty sure that you and your business partner would be okay to use the same account to access the bonuses if you're going through them together. That's okay with us. We're not going to be like, no, that would be two bonuses, please. Like we're not the cops. We're here to make sure you're successful. So again, if you're successful, like then we will be. That's just how it works. So you can go through with your business partner. We're not going to be like sticking up signs and like asking you to prove your identity and all this stuff. Johnny says, have to run, my friends, but like the Terminator, I'll be back. Good one, Johnny. I'll see you around.
See you tomorrow.
One teacher started talking about the seasons and had some people in the southern hemisphere have the same seasons. Jen, I'm not sure what you're referring to.
Oh, for the evergreen. Yeah, no, I don't talk about the seasons either.
So yeah, I think she means like if you're like, hey everyone, I hope you're having a
happy
great
spring.
winter. It's so cold out.
No.
And they're in Australia, like.
Yeah, so being careful not to drop like, oh, it's bright outside and then it's actually different times for different people.
Or a beautiful November day or something.
Or maybe they might think that you're in Australia, so that's why you're saying it. It's like the inverse.
Right.
Okay, Brianna T from New York City says, thank you all so much for this info and effective webinars. The summit is one of the best experiences I've had in 2017.
Yay!
Brianna, 2017 has been quite a year, so I'm happy to hear that. Okay, so Dr. China has some HIPAA questions. So for that, I'll send you a message, but get in contact with us directly. We're used by healthcare services like Pennsylvania Children's Hospital. But whether we're HIPAA compliant, we would generally recommend against storing any sort of healthcare data on us, like identifiable healthcare data on us. We haven't gone through any HIPAA compliance processes. So Teachable as a platform is not HIPAA compliant. So please do not store patient data on us. Rich says, is there a countdown feature in the Teachable webinar platform? Rich, you can embed countdown widgets very, very easily. It might take around 2 minutes to add a countdown widget.
I think that might be something that might be in the future.
Yes.
Hi, Lana. You run a webinar every Wednesday, right? That's really cool. Great constant sales. Awesome. Yeah. Alana practices what she preaches.
Definitely.
All right. So Tom, good questions. Can you talk a little about your email system? Also, can we integrate with Aweber or another email? So Tom, our email system on Teachable is built for sending blast emails. Okay. So that means you could send out very targeted blast emails to, like, let's say everyone who is logged in the past 30 days, they've paid you more than $100 and they're enrolled in your coaching program course. You can send them an email. It's not meant for like automatic emails. It's not like an email service provider like MailChimp or ConvertKit or Aweber. And yes, you can integrate with those. We integrate with all of them via Zapier. So Zapier is very cheap or free. They've got a great free plan. We integrate with all of your best email providers that way. And Joe, we do include a blog, though again, we want to be transparent and honest. So I'll say that our blog feature is very simple. It's very basic. If you want to do more than like kind of basic, just like publish a post. If you want to add like all this different stuff, add an RSS feed, do all this fancy stuff, then don't use our blog. It's meant to be very simple for people who haven't used a blog before.
Yeah, big shout out, Leanne. She's been here on every webinar up at 5 a.m.
Wow, that's awesome.
And everyone else that is, even if it's almost 4 o'clock for you in the afternoon, we appreciate you being here live with us.
Susan, is Teachable integrate with vertical response? Susan, I'm unfamiliar with vertical response. If they integrate with Zapier, then we'll work with them well. Yoram has a good question. What's the best way to promote an evergreen webinar on social media since it's not live? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, actually the same ways that I explained in my talk. I actually invite my email newsletter folks every week almost to a different webinar that I'm offering so that they have the opportunity to see more from me and get some more teachings. So email newsletter, social media posts, I still post regularly via my own social media channels where they can register for the webinar and sign up. And also Facebook ads. Facebook ads are an excellent way to promote your webinar to cold traffic. That's people who don't yet know how awesome you are.
Amanda, so she says that I want to make sure I understand, like you can post a recording from YouTube, but can you do a live? Yes, you can do a live YouTube video in Teachable. In fact, earlier on this webinar, I just did a demo where I shared this webinar as a webinar in my Teachable course. So yes, you can absolutely do YouTube live videos here in Teachable. All right, but we're almost at 4 o'clock. So we're gonna just take a few more questions before I wrap this up. Don't want to keep Alana forever. She's been very patient and very obliging in answering everyone's questions. And again, can't thank you enough.
Oh, it's my pleasure, absolutely.
So back in the chat, Anne said, how do I find out what courses are already on Teachable in my niche, genealogy? So Anne, first of all, I want to say that there's no way to go to teachable.com and like search for knitting and seeing all the knitting courses on Teachable. The reason is we're not a course marketplace. We don't want you to put all the work into your course and then have someone just search for a term, see your course, and then see one that's $10 cheaper and they do that one. That's a nightmare. That's what Udemy does, and that's terrible. We're not going to do that. So what I'd recommend, I would do some Google searches. You can do like genealogy and then cite teachable.com, and that'll find results for genealogy on things hosted on Teachable. Or ask in our private instructor Facebook group. There are plenty of people on there who might be teaching genealogy courses. They'll be able to point in the right direction. So ask in our private instructor Facebook group. I'm going to drop some more links in the chat to it. But yeah, it's a great resource, and you should also ask in there.
Here's an interesting question from Tony, because I know you'd mentioned Facebook ads in the beginning, or as a way of how you can get people into your webinar. How do you successful Facebook ads in terms of copy and pictures? So maybe, I mean, every industry and every audience is different, but what do you find works best?
Well, so I do align my Facebook ads with the method that I use for the webinars, where my Facebook ads actually say, come to this webinar to learn more about my course. Right? So a lot of webinar ads you'll see are like, come to the webinar where I'll teach you how to solve this one problem, or I'll give you the one tip that you need to solve this problem. And of course, you show up on the webinar, they spend 15 minutes on the tip and then 45 minutes selling you their course. So my ads actually say, hey, I've got this course. It's amazing. It's for you. It does this, and I want to show you more about it and teach you some actionable steps, even as you're learning more about the course with me on the webinar. As far as images, I do recommend images that show your smiling face, again, as a way for people to start to recognize you, because these Facebook ads typically go to cold traffic, people who don't know you. But again, transparency all the way through. You're on the webinar to learn more about my course, and I can't wait for you to be a part of it.
That's great.
So I guess we'll take maybe like 2 or 3 more questions before I wrap this up. So just looking in the chat, Alana, if you see any questions that really catch your eye, you can grab one of those.
Okay.
Ashley, I will answer your question. How come only some of the schools I'm enrolled in are showing up in my account? So Ashley, there are basically 2 types of accounts on Teachable. One is like a kind of cross Teachable account where, like, as a student, you can see all of your Teachable courses in one place. Schools opt in and out of that. So it's possible that Regina just hasn't opted into that type of account. Nikki, can I buy the pro plan today but have the annual plan start date begin in 3 or 4 months? Nikki, this is a commitment that starts today. That's part of the thing. That's part of why we're doing this is you start today, you make a commitment, and that's why you receive 2 months free. All right, so just maybe 1 or 2 more questions. Just 1 or 2 more questions. We still have hundreds of people live, so I know that there are 1 or 2 more questions out there, and I want to make sure that those are answered.
And
Well, I do see a course about going through a course. Should they complete it because it won't be available anymore? Do they have forever access to these courses that you're giving them today on the bundle?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
So there's no pressure. You don't have to like get it all done in the weekends. But while the questions are coming in, maybe Alana, do you want to maybe share why you chose to use Teachable, maybe why it's helped you? Because I know you've gone on the summit, you had gone through the training, which helps you have the strategy. But when it comes to actually using the platform, like, is there anything that really helps you with it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm obviously a Teachable evangelist because I believe in it and I've used it from start to finish. I've created my entire business because of Teachable. What I love about Teachable is that you guys have actually thought of everything that we need as course creators, and you address the problems that we have as course creators. The layout is beautiful. It's easy for my students to use. It's really intuitive for me as a course creator to figure out how to use this platform, and I appreciated that at the beginning. You know, I went into it having been a teacher in person for many years, and I had content, but I wasn't sure how to organize it in an online setting, and Teachable actually makes it really easy. The structure that you put your courses in when you start building your courses is really intuitive. My students have an easy time accessing it, which is so important. The tech support for them is really easy, so that's also important. It's just honestly like, it's really smooth and comprehensive. And then as my business started to grow, Teachable has also been able to grow with me, which is also really important. So it's not just for beginning course creators, it's for people who are selling tens of thousands of dollars of courses every month too. So even with some of the other bigger platforms that I use to complement my business and help to run my business, like Entreport and Easy Webinar and Deadline Funnel, they all integrate really seamlessly, and Teachable is still kind of the star of the show. It's the front-facing image and platform that I use. It's the first thing really people see when they come to check out my courses.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's great. So I guess we'll take 1 more question. Okay, so Laura, well, I'll make this one plus another one. Laura says, how easy is it to transfer courses from your competitors to your platform? Laura, we have made it very easy. Just get in touch with us, support@teachable.com, and we'll be happy to tell you all about our transferring services, including freelancers we can introduce you to.
Oh, that's nice.
And last but not least, so someone was saying, oh, Ashley says scalability. It's one of the reasons I feel like I can actually succeed with this. Yes. Again, we'd love seeing people start from 0 and then get to 6 figures in online course income.
That was me.
That was you, Alana. Man, they're real. They're in the flesh. We have like success stories.
Yeah.
Cindy says, basically I would send a message. Oh, okay. So that's all about copyright and YouTube. And that's a very tricky topic, all about fair use. And also you should ask that in our private instructor Facebook group, because many people have dealt with that before, like using other people's YouTube videos. So again, one more question. I want to make sure that we're making sure that everyone is getting started with confidence.
Ashley's like, I'll be that person. I can't wait.
All right. Anyone else? We're happy to let you go a few minutes early, but I'm sure there's one more question out there. Theo says, thank you. Thank you, Theo. It's been great having you.
Anais says, does Teachable sales page have gallery features where I can upload multiple images, i.e. students' artwork?
Yes. So you can upload multiple images to what we call a text block. So you can see all the images that students have uploaded. So I do want to, it's now about time to wrap it up. We took our last questions. And I think that the first thing we should do is first by thanking our audience, because you guys have taken the time out of your day to learn something. And then most importantly, thanking Alana for generously donating her time, sharing her energy and her knowledge with us. So if everyone can just in the chat to say, thank you, Alana, or you're the best, Alana, or Alana, this presentation rocked my world, just let her know how much this meant to you. So.
Oh my gosh, it's my pleasure. And it's been such an honor to be here with you all today. Thank you so much. The Teachable Tribe is my tribe, and it's been a really great honor to share some of these tips and tricks with you because I know they're going to work for you. And I can't wait to hear about how you are successfully using webinars to grow and sell your courses.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. And also, if you guys want to check out Alana and stay connected, she's over at alanak.com. Easy to remember. I like that.
And now, thanks again to everyone. Make sure to join us in our Private Instructor Facebook group. I'll drop in the links just a few more times. So join us in our Private Instructor Facebook group. And I cannot wait to see you all on the other side. So on behalf of myself
and Jess
and everyone else here at Teachable HQ, thank you all so much for your time. And I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. See you soon at the next summit event.
See you guys.
Bye-bye.